I got Mr. Snatch here. We're talking about facial aging from the fat guy. I call myself the fat guy because I do a lot of fat transfer. I do a lot of buccal fat pad sculpting. We have this new procedure where I'm developing. It's called layered cheek sculpting, balanced layered cheek sculpting. But here we go, Mr. Snatch. So one of the key things to facial aging is the fat atrophy. So we have these 7 superficial fat pads on each side of the face. You hear me talk a lot about superficial fat pads. So there's some under the eye. There's one to this kind of mid-cheek area. There's a malar fat pad. There's a temporal fat pad, pre-jowl fat pad here. There's a kind of a posterior masseter fat pad. Actually, I don't even know what that one's called, but I'm gonna call it the masseter fat pad. So there's the separation of these fat pads that people get. It's called compartmentalization. So an aged face, you start to see this clear malar fold. You see orbital bags. You see a jowl. You come here, and this image is a nice youthful face. So you can't find the separations of these different facial compartments. They kind of smoothly transition to each other. Where this gentleman, oh geez, that's okay. God, didn't crack it.
No, we're good.
Don't tell Dr. Diane. I think you made this guy. This gentleman starts to have more compartmentalization, where you see the jowl coming in. You start to see the eye being defined here. The cheekbone, the malar portion of the cheekbone becomes really defined, and that's because the plumpness around it is lacking. So now this is important. The younger population wants a defined malar area. So you don't want this point here, you want it to be contiguous back to the ear. So see how this here starts to kind of fall in, and you see this point? That can be kind of an aged look. Also, this gentleman, his temple is really starting to hollow because that temporal fat pad has started to atrophy. So you're seeing this compartmentalization. When you start to see the orbital rim, that people are bothered by that. Even if they don't know why, they're bothered by it. So, it's all about balance. A balanced kind of facial rejuvenation is the key. So another issue is with the nasal tip. So I'm doing a lot with threads to rotate the nasal tip. The nose becomes softer with age, and it starts to kind of droop down with age. So we can use threads to pick that back up. We can use threads up here, and as you pull this way, the tip can get rotated just ever so slightly and can give a kind of a rejuvenated look, similar to the lips. The lips with age become ptotic. They become thin and they become ptotic. So with the right amount of volume, with threads or with filler, or even with a lip lift, not my favorite procedure, but it is something we can do. With a lip lift, you can get the lips to rotate up and to kind of become plumped a little bit more. With the volume in the right location, or with threads, you can kind of lift slightly. So there's some new pretty nifty threads, both from Nova and Euro threads, which are just pure volumizers. They're PDO volumizers. And using a thread, we can be super precise because they're placed with a cannula exactly where we want them. So you can put them just inferior to the oral commissure border, or just superior into the philtrum even. The other thing you can do with threads is you can restructure the ear. The ear becomes enlarged with age. It also becomes kind of floppy with age. So we can use threads or filler to rejuvenate, particularly the lobule in females. We put a little filler or a little juvederm in that lobule. It can do spectacular things for rejuvenating the lobule. So that's facial aging from the fat guy and Mr. Snatch.